Money is without a doubt one of my favorite topics to talk about within business, and that's because, first of all, I'm a little bit nosy and I love to know about other people's behind the scenes. And second of all, more importantly, I think it's such an important conversation to be had. And I know that my past self would have so benefited from hearing practical and honest advice about managing your finances when you run a small business. When I first stepped into business, age 17, I had no clue when it came to finances. I mean, I had no clue when it came to pretty much any area of business, but finances was definitely a big one. My business and my personal finances were completely interlinked. I wasn't saving for tax. I didn't know where my money was coming from. I didn't know where my money was going to. And honestly, my finances were a mess. I don't feel like in life in general we get set up very well to know what we're doing financially, and I think when you run a business it's a whole nother level. And almost my approach to finances, because I had no clue what I was doing and no one was telling me what to do, was just to bury my head in the sand. I was like, right, if I just kind of pretend this thing doesn't exist, maybe I just won't have any issues with it. Fast forward to not being able to pay my tax return in my first year of business. Quite a big issue to come up against, and definitely a big wake-up call of like, right, we need to sort this out, because whether I like it or not, money is a huge part of life and definitely of business, and figuring out financial systems that were going to work for me was going to be so important. And I can so gladly say that now in year 5, stepping into year 6 of my business, my finances are in such a better position. This is not something that is in my nature. I'm not naturally that good with money, but I can say proudly that I have financial systems and processes. I know where my money is coming from. I know where it's going to. I'm able to pay myself a salary that I can live off of. I can pay my tax returns, which, oh my gosh, I will never be more grateful for that first lesson, which has taught me how wrong it can go if you don't save for tax. And all in all, I just feel on top of my finances when it comes to business. Now, that has not been an overnight change. It has taken a lot of work and a lot of different things, but I want to share in this video what some of those things have been, so that if you resonate with where I was in my first few years of business, you can hopefully get some super practical advice that is going to help you to really level up and transform. And I say transform meaning that word because that's how it's been for me, the financial side of your business. The first thing I would say, which I would say to anyone, whether you're sole trade, limited, however you do your business, is to separate your personal and your business finances. When I first stepped into business as a sole trader, I'm a limited company now, I didn't have to separate them. So I just thought, okay, we'll have them all sit within the same account. But honestly, that was kind of the first place where I went wrong, because I had no clue. Is that money meant for me to go on my next holiday? Is that money meant to be saving for tax? Should I be investing that money in the business? I had no clue where things were at, because it was all merged into one. So wherever you're at, whatever size type business you have, split those up. Pay yourself from your business bank account, transfer that money over, and help yourself to see those finances clearly. Because in my experience, the way that I treat my finances and my business versus my personal life is very different. I have very different goals and priorities when it comes to those financial situations. So just make it easy for yourself to do all these following steps by separating the two. Then on to the second thing, which if you follow me anywhere else online, you're going to be like, Alice, stop talking about this thing. But you know what? I'll never stop talking about this thing, because it genuinely changed the game in my business, is implementing profit first. If you have not heard of Profit First before, it's basically just a way of organizing your finances, which in my opinion allows you to feel in so much more control of what's going on, and is also so much more intuitive. If you think of the traditional way we do business finances, we do revenue, which is all of the money that your business makes, minus your costs, so all of the money that you spend, equals your profit. And that profit is just determined by how much you spend. However, if you're anything like me, you spend the money that you have. I see a number in my account and I'm like, amazing. Let's go and buy things on Amazon. Let's take the team on a trip. Let's give myself a bonus. Let's invest in a new coach. And whilst all of that spending is great, it often means, if you're like me, you don't end up with that profit. And typically profit is what really helps your business to grow and have financial stability. So what Profit First does is it flips that on its head. So you have your revenue minus your profit. You take away your profit first, hence the name, and then what you have left is what you can spend. If you want to learn more about Profit First, there is an amazing book on it. This is how I first discovered it. Now, just a little moment of honesty, I have actually only read half of this book, but I read half and I was like, I've got the gist. I'm good to go with that. But really great book if you want to learn more about it. And actually one of my favorite things he says in the book is so many businesses, when they want to make more profit, think they need to make more money and more revenue, whereas a lot of the time they can actually just cut their costs and be more intentional with making more profit. And I read that and I was like, mind blown. So Profit First, genuinely a game changer. And the way that it works with taking that profit out first is that every time money comes into your business, you're moving money into their allocated spaces. So typically there's going to be two things that you do when money comes into your business if you're doing Profit First, which is, first of all, you're going to put aside money for tax. That is so key. It's not your money, it's the government's money. Take it away as soon as you can, pretend that you don't have it. And then secondly, to put that money away for profit. So the way that Profit First works is you pick percentages to put into those different spaces. So for my business, I do 20% tax and 10% profit. That's based off of the tax band that I'm in, and also the priorities in my business and how much profit I want to save. So it's totally down to you what those percentages are. But that means that, say £100 comes into my business, £20 goes into my tax account, I don't even pretend that that money is mine to use, and £10 goes into my profit account, which again, you can use profit for whatever you want, but I personally use it for wants, not needs. That's how I decide. I'm like, costs, those are things that my business needs. You know, that's my salary, that's the team costs, that's software, that's when we have to invest in things. Whereas my profit I tend to use for maybe more fun things. Maybe if I'm taking the team on a trip, maybe I'm giving myself a bonus, maybe I'm upgrading our equipment. Anything that feels like a kind of added extra is what I use my profit for. And a lot of the time I tend not to spend all of my profit because I like it to give the business that bit of financial stability and that chunk of money if I need it. You can then have more allocations than that. I know friends that will add in maybe 5% goes to an account to invest in equipment, or 2% goes into an account that's their bonus at the end of the year. It really is down to you. And that's another one of the reasons that I love Profit First, is it's so flexible and it really allows you to look at your money in that more intuitive way. I've actually implemented Profit First in my personal finances as well. And I just love it because it means I can log into my bank account and immediately see, okay, that money that's left, that is what I have to spend, and I feel confident and calm that the money that's needing to be saved and put aside for other things is being done. So Profit First, total game changer. Like I said, read the book if you want to learn more. Let me know how the second half is. Maybe I should keep reading it. But to help me implement Profit First, you might then be thinking, well, do I now have to have like 5 or 6 different bank accounts? And honestly, that used to be me. You can watch one of my old videos where I was talking about how I had like 3 bank accounts for that, and then I used my credit card for that and my other card for that. And it's just quite a complicated way of implementing it. Not only complicated because you have so many accounts to manage, but also from an accounting perspective, it's just a lot to be trying to do bookkeeping on that many bank accounts. So I now use what I would say is genuinely the best bank ever, which is STARLING, which allows me to implement Profit First and run my business finances in such a simple and easy way. STARLING would be one of your like modern banks, and after being with a traditional bank for the whole of my life, honestly, I would not go back. I absolutely love it. Few reasons why I love STARLING. You can see your transactions immediately. So as soon as I or the team spend money, I can immediately see it. It warns you about any upcoming payments or direct debits that are due. This is really handy if you don't like to have all of your money sat in your bank account and you ever need to move money across for paydays. It reminds you before you miss that direct debit, which has saved my ass many a time. Another thing I really love is that it does monthly reporting. So I don't have to email my accountant or log into my accounting software to get a report on my spending. I can do that within the STARLING app. It immediately shows me how much I've spent on staff, how much I've spent on Amazon, how much I've spent on software, on food, and it also does the same for my revenue. So I can feel really in touch with my finances without it having to feel like a lot of effort. And honestly, for me, that's what has helped me to really level up my relationship with money, is by making it easy for me to know where things are at. And STARLING, oh my Lord, does this. The biggest thing I would say though, on top of all of those that I love about Starling, is their spaces. Best way to explain spaces is they're almost like mini savings accounts, but they all sit still within the same bank account. So on Starling, you have your main bank where that's where payments are coming out of, that's where money is coming into. So then you can create these different spaces that you can move money in and out of from that main account. One of the biggest reasons I love this is because to your accounting software, it still looks like one bank account. Whereas when I was having 6 different bank accounts, it was really complicated because money was actually moving between accounts. Within Starling, when you're moving money from a space to your main account and vice versa, your accounting software doesn't recognize that transaction. So it doesn't make it hard for you to do your bookkeeping, which if you've ever had to do your bookkeeping, you'll know the easier you can make it, the better. What I thought I'd do is show you my Starling spaces so that you can get an idea of how I use them and particularly how I use them to implement that profit first method. So let's take a look and log in to my business finances. Okay, so here we are. So what we can see if we go to the spaces tab is all of the spaces that I have in my business. So to talk you through them one by one, we have first of all buffer. This is one that I pay into when I have high income months in my business. So because I have launch months and I have some months that are not launch months, my income often fluctuates. So some months in my business, I will make way more than I need to cover cost. Sometimes I'll make way less. So in those months where I have a higher income, I'll put some into my buffer account and that just gives me that kind of backup of money so that in a lower income month, I can move that money across. Now, ideally that would have a bit more money in it, but I'm not the best at saving for that kind of rainy day stuff. So something I need to work on. Then we have my profit account, which as you know, I put 10% of all my revenue into, and I typically use profit for investing in the business, giving myself and the team treats, nice little fun stuff. We then have tax, nice little bit of tax in there, sadly not my money, which again is that profit first, just 20% of all my revenue moves into there. Then we have fun. Now, I love this space in Starling because you can set it, and I'll show you how you do it, to round up your spending. So I've set it that 5 times the kind of roundup gets put to this. So for example, if I spend £1.80, then 20p times 5, which is a pound, quick maths, gets put into this fun account. So it's just a really easy way to save a small amount of money. And typically I'll use that fun one for just like really silly stuff, like if I want to buy the team gin, or maybe I want to treat a client when I'm taking them out, whatever it may be. That's what I use fun for. And then the final one that I have is for Launch Ready, which is one of my programs. Because that program, or course I should say, is done on a profit split with the person that I run it with, my friend Chloe. So all of the revenue that I get from that course goes into this saving space so that then at the end of each month, it's really easy for me to do the calculations, send Chloe her split, and then I'll just move my split back into the main account. So those are your spaces. And then you also have your main account, which you can see mine has £889.71 in. And I'll just quickly show you here how I implement profit first. So I had 2 payments come in via PayPal, and you can see immediately, well, a couple of minutes later, I then just transferred 20% of that through to my tax account and 10% through to profit. That is something I currently do manually within my business, but I quite like it because it keeps me in touch with my finances, you know? So that is Starling. I use it for personal, I use it for business, and honestly, I find it a game changer, not only to help me to implement profit first, but also just to make my finances feel so much easier for me to understand and have that kind of ongoing relationship with. In summary, split your business and personal finances, implement profit first, make sure you're saving for tax, don't make that mistake, get a great bank account like Starling. That's it, all of my thoughts on money in one video. I so hope that you have found this helpful, interesting, whatever you've needed, whether it was just a bit of comfort to know that you're not the only one that struggled with your finances. I hope this video has given it to you. If you've got any questions at all, I'm not a financial expert. I've just learned from experience, but I'm always happy to help or just give my opinion or experience where I can. So please do leave your thoughts below, and also let me know what else you want to see from this channel. I've been a little bit inconsistent, I mean, that's an understatement, up until this point, but I'm going to be showing up now with monthly videos, primarily giving you a behind the scenes look at what I get up to in my business and how I run the behind the scenes of my business. So I hope you've enjoyed this first video kind of in that, what's the word I'm looking for? in that vibe. Vibe is not the word, but we're going to go with it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so that you don't miss out on the next video, and come and join me over on Instagram. It is without a doubt my favorite hangout, where I'm sharing insights into how I run my business every single day instead of every month on this channel. So I'll see you over there. I need to stop doing this at the end of every single video. That's even worse. Just like sort your finances out. Okay, peace out.